I loved the TV series when I was growing up. I loved the music. And to be able to turn it into a feature film and really take it from a Cold War series to this, to bring it to modern audiences in cinema is something that they are, without a doubt, the most challenging films to produce. It's challenging films to make. The sequences, McHugh and I will spend, a lot of time, sometimes a couple years working on different sequences. And obviously, Mission is about practical action. That's what we want to do. We want to look at things and see how, in every way, can we create a movie that is elegant, that is entertaining, that is high in aesthetics, that is gripping, and use all of our skills as filmmakers. And it challenges every department, and you can just see their faces every day. As we're going through it, it's such hard work, but there's an exhilaration also, and I think a real joy from everyone that they have the opportunity to challenge themselves in this manner. The journey that Ethan Hunt and his team go through, it is an odyssey, and definitely inspired and reflective of that story. It's an epic tale, it's a personal tale, and there's incredibly huge stakes, emotional stakes, I think, for the characters. Ilse is, of course, the character's inspired name from, Casablanca, one of our favorite characters and actresses, and it just so happened that, when Rebecca, we were like right down to the wire, and luckily, we found her, and she came in and read and was incredible. And you just see what a dynamic presence she has, very charismatic and athletic, and just, I think, just uniquely holds the screen. I went to Airbus, and I trained at their facility in Dallas, Texas. They were really wonderful and helped me, throughout. I wanted to fly the Airbus helicopter, where they call it the Squirrel. The thing is, when I'm flying a helicopter, I'm not just flying the helicopter. Just the same thing when I'm driving a car or a motorcycle. I'm also, a lot of times, when I'm there with the cameras, I'm setting a frame. So there are times that I'm flying a helicopter and I'm setting a frame for Henry when I'm behind his other helicopter, plus there's an aerial helicopter. So, plus I'm acting as I'm going and flying the helicopter and flying it low, flying it fast, flying it close to the mountains and the grounds. But obviously, there was a lot of resistance, actually, to me doing this particular stunt. And number one, it's never been done before in the way that we wanted to do it. The extreme nature of the flying. And of course, everyone wants to make sure that it's going to be safe. And so I made sure, and one of the things that I do is I have these guys, I try to surround myself with the best people, the best group, and have them challenge me and see how good am I? Am I good enough to be able to do this? So a lot of stuff that I wanted to do in terms of flying low, under trees, I was able to get the aircraft into a spin and do those spins at very low G and low airspeed, and be able to pull out at a very low level. Wingovers, these kinds of things that are extreme with a helicopter, and the things that we were doing were extreme, very close proximity. And of course, look, I want them to trust me, and I want to be able to trust them when you're flying with someone and you're that close. So I did a lot of preparation, and every step of the way I made sure that I just didn't come in going, oh, it's me, I can do this. I was like, guys, you have a right. We're all professionals here, and please put me through my paces and test me to see my ability, and I want to make sure that you feel comfortable with my ability and you understand my ability. And so I always try to do that. Those are the things that we worked on, and those pilots, they really put me through my paces to test me, and rightfully so. And that's what I wanted, actually. And in doing that, it also increases my ability. And then we end up having, an amazing time. It was the most extraordinary time in New Zealand. New Zealand is breathtakingly beautiful. And to be able to travel through New Zealand with a helicopter and the places that we're able to go, most people aren't allowed really to go in those areas. And the helicopter that I had, as I said, the Squirrel it's a cool looking helicopter. It has tremendous amount of power. Of course, we're in the mountains, it's high altitude. So I needed every bit of that power. Plus I have cameras hanging off of the helicopter. And so it was it was extreme. It was like everything in Mission. It was every day was filled with adrenaline. I know that everyone sighed a massive sigh of relief when we finished there, and I think we're all very proud of what we accomplished. It's a love letter to Paris, and London, always a love letter to London. Great locations there. Norway, beautiful locations in Norway. India, and also we shot in New Zealand. The helicopter sequence in New Zealand, beautiful country. We could not have gotten that helicopter sequence without the help of New Zealand. We could not have shot in Paris without all the help of the Parisians. Or the skydiving sequence that we shot with the UAE military. So we shot there also, and it is definitely the scope of the film is enormous, and I think the story wants that. And so these beautiful locations that we went to, and every time it was like Norway, we're climbing the side of a mountain. It's quite extreme. and you know, of course, London, we had the foot chase in London. New Zealand was the helicopter sequence we shot. I mean, I was inches away from sides of cliffs and right on the tail of Henry's helicopter, and we were going hard there. It was very intense, very extreme, as I know an audience will experience. And we shot in Abu Dhabi, and we had the UAE military, where we're able to jump out of a C-17 and do a halo jump from there, very high up, and a sequence that is quite extreme. I just love working with McHugh, and the way that he approached this, he said, "I'm going to honor Mission Impossible. I'm going to direct this like I'm another director," and he did it. He really, the visual style is different. It still has his, I think it has his bold sensibility of storytelling and kind of, Mission is a tougher mission. You know, it's not less entertaining, but I think we just pulled out all the stops. As I said, all the missions have led to this one, and McHugh, he's a very elegant filmmaker, and he's a classic filmmaker. But I love his wit. I love the toughness of the movie and the characters, and it's just a beautiful movie. I can't wait for eyes to see it. I'm so, you know, proud of my friend.